What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. We just finished up the first series at Citi Field at home against the Miami Marlins. Won the series 2-3. Obviously didn't end the greatest on Sunday with a loss, but we did get 2 wins there. Saw Kodai Senga make his home debut. A lot of great stuff going on here, but as well as like first time in Citi Field for the year. A lot of new things going on at the stadium as well. We're going to talk about everything that went on this weekend, as well as at the end, we have a little interview with Darren Meenen, founder, CEO, whatever you want to call him, of the 7 line. So we'll have that at the end for you guys. We're super excited to talk to you. And we're here out at Citi Field doing a live episode as well in the Mets, what is this called? The auditorium, I believe, right, James? The theater auditorium out on the suite level. So we hope you guys are ready for this episode. If you do like everything that you're listening to here or what you're seeing, make sure you follow us on all our social media at Mets'd, METSDUP, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, drop us a rating, drop us a review. And if you're looking for the YouTube video, go to the New York Mets YouTube channel, subscribe over there. We drop every episode on the Mets YouTube as well. And James, already introduced you, so no introduction here, but how's it feel to be back at the stadium doing a live episode?
Felt great. It was good to have people back in the park this weekend.
Yeah.
It was good to have Mets baseball back in the park. Cool to hear people cheering. It was nice to have baseball back, like the normalcy returns once again.
And we had our interesting morning as well on the home opener.
Yes.
Got rained out, per se, on the day that was beautiful out. Would have loved that, 75-degree weather. But we got the next day. It was a little bit colder. And I got to wear the tuxedo, which...
Yes, you got to wear the tuxedo.
That kept me a little bit warmer. The tuxedo was nice. For those of you who did not see the video that went up on the Mets YouTube channel, we did the estimate finale at Citi Field with Matt Frivola. I lost. I wore the tuxedo on opening day. Maybe Vito will throw a picture on here or something. I'll send him one that he can put into the video. But, I mean, I was looking sharp. It wasn't really much of a loss at the end of the day.
The part of that was a loss was that you had to take time out of your week to go get a tuxedo fitted and go through the stress of finding a tuxedo that could be turned around in only a couple of days.
And it was stressful. Shout out to Portobello and Astoria. They hooked me up with the tuxedo.
Like the mushroom?
Yeah, like the mushroom. I honestly, I thought I rented it. They didn't take any of my information. I have no clue. They didn't tell me when to return it. I have no idea what to do with this tuxedo. I think I might own one now. I think I own a tuxedo.
You have any weddings this year?
I do.
There you go.
Yeah, we got Alex's. Well, I have Alex's sister's wedding,
Yeah,
so maybe to that one. I don't know. I don't want to be the best dressed one there, but the tuxedo was great. We also saw a Mets fan who might have beat me though with the suit that was made of all Mets logos.
He
blue and
followed
orange.
Both of us and the podcast too. I think his name was Bromeo.
Bromeo Santos is what he's going on his Twitter. I don't know if that's his real name or not, but he was rocking a killer suit. It was just head to toe Mets with the hat. I mean, he was really rocking it. I saw him twice in one day.
I was saying, we found him in center field where we were just hanging out, like eating, messing around during the game. And then you saw him in the parking lot leaving as well.
Yes,
like you guys were like kinship of brothers.
We crossed paths. He's like, I need a picture for myself. Like, because how many times is this going to happen? But wore the tuxedo, ended up keeping me warm, looked great. Got to go to the tailgate as well with the 7 line, which is cool. And like we said, we have that interview with Darren coming out at the end of the episode, which is always great because Darren also has like an interesting perspective of how things work because coming from the outside in, kind of like we did as well.
Yeah, and he's just been doing it for so long. You guys hear in the interview, he talks about having connections with Justin Turner.
Yeah.
Like, just to think about how long 7 Line has been doing what they've done and how much they've grown. But they always put on a great tailgate out there in the marina. It's always 100%. Very fun time. They had the big 7 Line truck out there, which was cool. We did the interview right in front of that for the people who's going to see that on YouTube. And just always a good vibe out there, especially opening day. Like, I remember last year opening day, it was that like perfect 75-degree day. I remember they unveiled the statue. It was a great event. But it was sunny, sweating. Like, you don't want that on opening day.
No.
That's not April baseball.
No, we got some real...
I want clouds. I want wind. I want 50s.
I mean, it was cold. My body was
really
warm,
cold.
but my hands were freezing. This entire series, my hands have been so cold. I don't know if like I've got bad poor circulation or something right now. But the fingers have been cold.
I think it's also like an underrated element of like April baseball, how hard it is to play baseball in cold weather.
Yeah.
And like we saw a lot of these games that it gets a little bit harder to hit and pitch as you're in the game longer, games go longer. We'll talk about that with Senga in a little bit. But I think it was cool being back in the stadium just because of how many new things there are in Citi Field this year.
100%. I mean, for you, gluten-free boy,
oh my God.
There are options out the wazoo for you. For me, dairy-free, not as much, but the gluten-free people should be rejoicing because there's a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be the James Chown gluten-free segment right now. We've like quadrupled the gluten-free options in Citi Field. There's like new kinds of burgers and a little like healthy section out there in right field. There's more access to burrito bowls. That was always like the sneaky thing. Now there's just more stands of it, which is amazing. They have quesadilla. They had like gluten-free brownies that were really good, fantastic. They
have a gluten-free beer.
Yeah, they have a gluten-free beer. I'm very excited to try that. Haven't had beer in over a year. They have Pig's Beach, the barbecue place. It's a whole gluten-free sampler platter.
It was really good too.
Yeah, had it today on Sunday. It was a great meal. Like really filled me up. I was nervous about how much I was like, okay, there's like you got one shot at this.
Yes.
If it doesn't fill me up, I'll know I'm gonna eat the rest of the day. It filled me up great.
No, it was really good. You gave me a piece of the brisket. You almost had too much food, you could say.
Yeah, legit. And they got just tons of new food in general. The two prominent Food Network people, Mark Murphy and Sonny Anderson, they have their own stands now. Sonny's got like an all-American barbecue place. Mark Murphy's got sandwiches. They got the Taste of Queens Bulagi bowls in center field where that taco stand used to be. They have the new like fusion tacos up in behind home plate in the promenade. There's crazy new food options here. Donuts everywhere.
I couldn't find the donut chicken sandwich though. I looked for it today. Maybe not good enough, but I could not find it. That's what I wanted. Got the Pig's Beach barbecue today on Sunday. It was fantastic. Got sausage and peppers too. Always strong. Got to get a glizzy as well. Always. I will say, like, at the World Baseball Classic, I think they were also Nathan's. Their hot dogs were absolutely horrible. Something's going on, but, like, at Citi Field, always a premium hot dog. Not gonna lie. And you would know better than anybody about the quality of the hot dogs here.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Keep forgetting about that. So now it's funny that we've done 2 big punishments for things on the podcast. They happened within like 10 games being played at Citi Field.
Yeah.
Because the last one was
both against the Marlins.
And no, I thought that was
No,
oh yeah,
that
it
was
was Marlins.
Marlins.
Yeah, that was Marlins. Yeah, it's weird. Mark Murray tuxedo me eating the 9 hot dogs last year. So we got like 10 games to figure out something else stupid for one of us to do.
100%, yeah. We also had the home opening day festivities where you get the intros for all the players. Edwin Diaz got an intro. They played the trumpets for him as he came out on his crutches, which was pretty cool. Crowd was excited.
Yeah, I almost feel bad that they gave the crowd the trumpet that soon because like they're like, who knows the next one comes. Like it's kind of like, all right, now you took one, you take it away forever.
Yeah, I know. But it was good to see Edwin out there, and Verlander was here too. Everybody that was on the team was at the home opener, which was nice.
Of course. And the festivities then moved into a walk parade.
Yes.
Because Edward Cabrera walked every single player on the Mets this entire game. The Mets drew 12 walks on Friday's game, which is ridiculous.
So many walks. That's an insane. And Edward Cabrera had like a no-hitter going through the first 3, but he pulled the Jack Flaherty.
I think it was like 4.
Yeah, and walked like 8 guys in those first 3 or 4, whatever it came out to.
I believe the Mets had a run before they had a hit.
Yeah. No, they did. They did.
Yes. And this is also the day after the Chattanooga Lookouts scored 7 runs without a hit in a minor league game on Saturday night. But I digress. Brandon Nimmo drew 4 of those walks. He was the first Met draw 4 walks in the game since J.D. Davis 2020. And before that, it was Mike Baxter in 2012.
And I think they said he was the 12th player to ever do that in Mets history as well. At least how he said that on the radio. I heard that in the bathroom while I was waiting.
Yeah, and 3 of Nimmo's walks led off innings. The Mets leadoff guy reached base in 6 of 8 innings on Friday.
No, I mean, like, that's what you love about Brandon Nimmo is his ability to get on base, plays good center field. Like, we know all the stuff that he does, but he really is, like, absolutely elite at getting on base. And that's something that the way that this lineup is built, I don't want to say like very top heavy, but like Lindor and Alonso are supposed to be the guys who are driving in Nimmo and Marte getting on base. That's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, and I think just to push back for a second, the big story of this game was the fact that Tylor McGill looked very good again.
100%, yeah.
No earned runs, 6 innings pitched, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. Didn't miss a ton of bats, but again, it was not great pitching conditions. It was very cold and it was very windy. And this Marlins lineup doesn't swing and miss very often at all. It's kind of the whole premise they built this team upon. His fastball had great life. He threw them 60% of the time, got up to 96.5, which is almost near where he sat when he was at his best last few years. And that was on a very cold day, which is a really good sign. Got 5 whiffs on that pitch. Only pitch that had multiple whiffs. But, like, he did something this game doesn't do very often in his career, and that was get a ton of ground balls.
Yeah.
That was something we noticed a lot while we were at the game and did some more looking into it yesterday. 9 of the 17 balls in play by the Marlins were on the ground in this game, which is a big change from usually.
Huge.
He sat around 40% his entire career. So if he's a guy who, again, small sample size, only 17 balls in play, this isn't a stat that usually stabilizes until you get to like 80 batted balls. But this is something that's important. 6 of those ground balls came on fastballs. 3 of them came on sliders. This could be a coincidence, or this could be a step forward for Tylor McGill, something new he's doing in attacking hitters.
I know this offseason you've been talking to me a lot about not just K rate, not just ground ball rate, but combining the two and figuring out the guys who can do those 2 things extremely well. A guy like Juan Duran out of the bullpen is one of the names that comes to my mind immediately, but especially with the way that the balls have been playing this year, because they've been very bouncy. Almost, are they back to the 2019 levels, it seems?
We're basically at that level when you adjust them for weather.
Okay, so getting close at least to those 2019 levels. We know about that baseball. I mean, the ball was flying everywhere. You could saw one off your hands and it would go out 350 feet to right field. But to be able to get ground balls like that for Tylor and McGill, and just it gets you quick outs too, which is important. Like gets you going deeper in games, helps the bullpen out, helps everybody out. Super, super big for a guy who technically wasn't starting this team opening day.
Yeah, and again, it's not like ground ball rate's not even perfect anymore. It's probably less advantageous than it was last year without the shift.
Yeah.
But I have the stats on the home run ball this year per Derek Carthy, who's the creator of the BAT and the BAT X projection systems. He's freaky. Follow him on Twitter. He's a genius guy. Also, a lot of good betting tips. Home runs per contact rate, weather adjusted. 2018, 4.4%. 2019, 5.4%. 2020, 5.2%. 2021, 4.9%. 2022, 4.2%. And already 2023, when weather adjusted, 5.3%.
So basically right back.
So basically, seems like this ball is super happy and fun again.
And we did see a home run here from Starling Marte, which was nice. I was a big fan of that home run as well for a couple reasons. Marte always just, I feel like, swings the bat well at Citi Field.
Yeah, always swings the bat well at Citi Field. And then the game kind of crescendoed as we were winning, and it felt comfortable anyway with back-to-back home runs from Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso that were culminated in some pyrotechnics. And that was kind of the first of its kind we've really seen at Citi Field in that capacity. And I want to throw it to John over here because John is a big pyrotechnic guy.
He's a pyro, you could say.
Yeah, John's a bit of a pyro. Really?
I'm actually I'm gonna sound like a square here, but
no, you.
When I would go to Disney World or like Orlando Studios, and there'd be a lot of fire on rides. The Mummy's one that comes to mind.
Ooh, yeah, it's a good ride.
I was petrified.
Really?
Hated it. I'm not a big fire guy at all, so I guess it's kind of ironic that I'm the one that's spearheading this this venture. But no, I thought it looked great, especially by the apple.
Yeah,
with all the home runs,
and just on top of the scoreboard itself, because the scoreboard's been such a spectacle.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we didn't even talk about that.
We didn't talk about it. We had technically seen it already by being here, but the scoreboard is awesome. It's massive.
Crazy.
It's huge. It like this sounds weird to say, but like it really is so much more clear than the one that they had before. Like it looks like HD picture, which is crazy because I didn't have a problem with the old scoreboard either.
We have a friend down Long Island City who can see the scoreboard from his house.
Yeah,
so all
on
the
like the 25th
residents,
floor in Long Island City. And at night, you can see the scoreboard lit up like bright and clear, which is kind of crazy.
How many miles do you guys think that is? Like 6 miles?
That's
5
probably
miles?
5-6 miles at
least.
least.
5 miles from Vito. I think 5 miles.
I'll trust Vito. He's the New York guy.
Yeah, he's the New York guy.
But yeah, I mean, the scoreboard looks awesome. All the new graphics and stuff looked really good. I know some people were not happy about like the balls and strikes, but that got changed really quickly, which was really cool.
And all the new LED screens around the field level too.
That too.
Which
yeah,
also
we did
cool.
Notice that. Yeah,
just all bright, clear, big, everywhere. Just everyone should come to the stadium as soon as they can, just because Mets fans, you want to be in the ballpark. But there were some real genuine enhancements made to the stadium this year.
100%.
And it's incredibly noticeable 100%. Immediately.
And you also have the new bar out where McFadden's used to be, the K Corner.
Yes.
Which is now open. I mean, it's literally the same exact spot where McFadden's used to be for those of you who used to go there. K Corner, they got beer, they got liquor, they got it all. It's like even got snacks in there. Like they had pretzels and pizza bagels, which is kind of cool.
And the new Iole bar in left field.
Ihole.
What'd
you call it?
Iole.
Okay, you just got a little
Iole.
Got a little twang on that one.
Yeah, a little twang.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my favorite tequila.
Marlins also threw like 5 relief pitchers, and we saw Huascar Brazoban again for like I think he's now pitched in 4 of the 7 games the Mets have played against the Marlins, which is
seems low. I would say 5.
It seems like far too many games for what that was the guy we joked about in our season preview, being like, Huascar Brazoban's going to be coming into these games pitching. Like he really has thrown a lot. It also seems like Skip Schumacher just has like 4 guys that he uses, and it's like Huascar Brazoban, JT Chargois, Andrew Nardi is one of them, Matt Barnes, and I guess also Dylan Floro.
And Tanner Scott. We've seen Tanner Scott.
I think this was like at least in this series, the only time he came in was game 3.
Yeah.
How many of those guys will be here in September the next time we play the Marlins?
Not in September, September 18th.
September 18th.
The next time we play the Marlins.
Middle of September. I mean, how many guys on this roster will actually be still on that team?
This could be like an estimate that has like 5 points down the line. What's higher number by September 18th? How many touchdown passes by Aaron Rodgers, or how many Marlins are on this roster that were on the roster right now?
How many weeks into the season is September 18th?
I believe that's 2 full games.
2 full games.
If not 3, depending on what day of the week September 18th is.
They've got to have more Marlins. It's got to be Marlins.
I don't know. By then, you probably have 10 touchdowns from Rodgers in 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, that's you
being
very, very helpful.
49ers are loaded.
Come on, don't say that.
It's not official yet, James. Don't count your eggs before you do have the kiss of death.
This is big CC vibes. I'm not gonna say the word, but it's CC vibes right now.
Oh, for sure, no doubt. I mean, I think I'm gonna take the Marlins on that one, which makes me think that it's probably not gonna end up being a 5-point estimate. I think you're in the same spot.
Yeah, Huascar Brazoban, 4 appearances against the Mets already this year, and there's only 4 appearances. He didn't play in their series in Minnesota. He did not pitch.
He hasn't pitched against any team besides the Mets.
No, and 4 2/3, 5 2/3. It's 6 1/3 innings against the Mets so far this season.
What?
For Huascar, and he didn't pitch Sunday either.
No.
Yes.
That's crazy. Why are they using him only against them? I mean, the Mets have done pretty well against them, so keep using them, please, by all means.
The story is, when we were talking about last series and this series, the Marlins' big weakness this Marlins roster is their bullpen.
Yes.
We got to get to them to get in the game, and on Friday, through 5 relievers, who scored all 4 of them.
Their lineup is like pesky. That's the word we're going to be keep using when we describe them, although it'll be 4 months again until we talk about them. But, like...
We're going to live entire lives until the next time we play the Marlins.
Gene Segura... like culminated in the peskiness where in, what was it, the 4th or 5th inning when he hit the line drive off Tylor McGill's ankle?
Yeah.
And everyone kind of held their breath for a minute, like, oh my God.
Not another one.
Not another one. Like, please be okay. That he was completely fine and kept shoving, which was really great. But, like, they are annoying, and Gene Segura is just, I really hate him.
The king of the pest. I respect him, but I don't like him.
Yeah, no, he gets your respect. Like, he's a different kind of rat.
No, and now we've talked about game 1 for a while, just Citi Field in general.
Yep.
Got to move on to game 2.
Big one.
Yeah, big one. A little more straightforward, but the big story again is Kodai Senga just looking really good again.
Looked so good.
And he looks amazing. We'll have to say the second straight start against the Marlins, who we all know are not going to have a premier offense in the league.
No.
And it looks like next weekend, if all stays according to plan, he will get the A's, which will be 3 straight starts to start his career against bad offenses.
Love
which,
it.
Truthfully, really good way to ease yourself into an entirely new country sport.
New ball,
and situation, everything. Yeah, but this early returns are amazing. 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. He only gave up 1 run on a Jazz Chisholm home run in the 6th. He just got in an unbelievable groove after the first inning, where the Marlins got a couple hits off the bat, and I believe he walked somebody too. He only faced 1 batter over the minimum between innings 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
He was just completely in control. He was missing bats. He was getting called strikes, weak contact, everything. His fastball just looked like awesome again.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of life in that fastball. Sat 96 and 97, a few of them up to 98. Got 6 whiffs on it again. Really nice life. Sweeper, like, it looks so aesthetically pleasing when you watch it, but still just like not missing many bats.
But, like, you also have said, like, sometimes the sweeper isn't used to miss bats sometimes, right?
sure.
Like, it's for limiting hard contact, and he was really good at doing that in this game.
No, really good. Just even before I go through pitch by pitch again, similar to McGill on Friday, Senga got 9 ground balls on 15 balls in play and two pop-ups.
Especially with our infield, too. Like, that's awesome.
But so out of the 15 balls in play, 11 of them were basically nothing bad could happen.
Yeah.
Like, the worst that could happen be a single. On 11 of the 15 times the Marlins made contact against Kodai Senga.
It's fantastic.
It's incredible. And that's something that was a concern, I think, based on his repertoire heading into the season, even just to him coming to this country. But the existence of that sweeper and another pitch he threw more of this week than last week is Cutter, which also got a couple ground balls and also induced a lot of soft contact. Those 2 pitches, where they are right now, I think is really impressive, more so than his velocity and the amazing forkball. And the forkball is just freaky as hell.
Yeah. I mean, we saw, like, I think Pitching Ninja put out a bunch of GIFs because, I mean,
yeah,
Kodai Senga has some really insane stuff. And like we've mentioned before, if you get on Pitching Ninja, you probably are doing something well. So he put out I think it was a Brian De La Cruz when he threw him a fastball earlier in the at-bat and then followed up with a ghost forkball to strike him out when his helmet fell off, which is also just a great video because Brian De La Cruz, rat. But the pitch tunneling that he has on the fastball and ghost fork, you're like, oh, I understand why nobody can hit this. They're in the exact same spot, and all of a sudden the ghost fork just falls off a table, and the four seam just gets that rise, and it's like that combination right there. Those like that 2 pitch, we've seen guys like Kevin Gausman be very successful with it. Guy that you're a big fan of. I don't know how their splitters or forkball technically like compare to each other, but the movement's absolutely disgusting.
It is. It's freaky. And the difference in velocity is also really important.
Yeah.
There. And Senga's fastball is just a fun watch too, because you could see like the high end of it when he can really locate it well, especially when he gets in the inner half to righties, because it more than like rising, which has that hop, that fastball you want, he has run on it, which isn't exactly like super enviable, but it is good at being able to miss bats, again, especially against those righties if you can put it in the right spot. Like if he's comfortable, and he was a lot of times on Saturday.
Yeah, very
pitching inside against these righties. There were a few that bleed back, and then they kind of just come right to the heart. That's when it gets scary. That's when he's more susceptible to the heart contact. But he's really good at limiting that. As long as he can like stay on that inner half against righties with that fastball, it's basically an unhittable pitch.
No, 100%. And like the ghost fork, we've seen like with Daisuke, the gyro ball, and like there's been pitches like this, but this one legit looks like a real out pitch that he also seems to use like to get big outs.
Yeah, and heading into play on Sunday, the stat courtesy of John, it had the most strikeouts of any individual pitch in the entire league.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So through 2 times, basically every single team's rotation, the ghost fork by Kodai Senga, the most strikeouts of any individual pitch. He got 3 whiffs on 6 swings. Most of them did come early. Again, it was cold.
It looked
like
very cold on Saturday.
As the game went on, once we got to the 5th inning, we saw the velocity go down a little bit. Then the 6th inning, he got in some trouble. Did end up getting out of it. Happy he wasn't pushed for the 7th.
Yeah.
But it was all working there when it was working. 12 whiffs on 20 swings versus the pitch overall through his first 2 starts, courtesy of John. And then second most strikeouts from a singular pitch in baseball is Jacob deGrom with 11 with a 4-seam fastball.
You had to say the name.
He's in second. I'm gonna say whoever was in second was gonna say it.
be fair, I wish the best for him. I wish the best.
No,
for
yeah,
him.
I mean that's how we're gonna mark this. Like, oh wow, so that pitch we know is really good. So this pitch might be better.
I mean, he is a good pitcher. That
he's
other
not
guy
bad.
that you named there.
He's fine, but bottom line, Senga looks really good. He is really disgusting, and I think there's gonna be a situation where people are going to see him a little bit, and people are going to learn a little bit, and then he has the chance to bounce back, and that's when this thing could get really fun.
And what's really cool, too, we talked about this with Senga when we were hyping up in the offseason before the Mets even got him, was like he's a student of the game. The dude loves analytics, he loves information, loves data. So when those teams do adjust, I'm sure he's going to adjust right back. He's not one of those guys who's like, I'm stuck in my way. This is how I've pitched forever. He's made changes to his repertoire already. So like that's huge.
Yeah, he's a grinder. They mention it every single broadcast now. He came up through the Japanese developmental league.
He's a baseball gym rat.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you got.
Jeff McNeil, happy birthday to Jeff McNeil on Saturday. He had basically, I don't know if it's every game on his birthday that he had played, but it
was back-to-back years.
Back-to-back years at least. He had a home run on his birthday. Did not get one on this birthday, but he did get an RBI in the first inning with a bases-loaded walk.
But that would make sense because 2020 he didn't play in his birthday. 19, yes, but I don't recall.
He was
2018,
in the minors in 19.
No, they just had a day
he
off.
played the full season.
18.
He played the full season in 2019, yeah.
Do you guys remember the home run he hit in 2021 on his birthday?
Yeah, of course. That was against the Marlins.
It was a game-tying home run in the ninth inning against the Marlins.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Before Conforto wore
that was also the home opener.
That was the home opener.
Yes, you were at that game. You and your dad came to Astoria.
Yeah, we got Belucci's after.
Yeah, hung out there afterwards. Oh, man, Belucci's. That was like one of the last times I had like real pizza.
Yeah, right. That was the first time we were ever like had the podcast where we're like live doing things during the game.
Yes.
Remember I did that meme about like Conforto with Adam Sandler from what's
Billy
Uncut Gems.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like the freeze frame of Conforto sticking the elbow out like this is how I win. That was a good one.
That was a chaos game. Yeah, but Jeff looked good again. He got a double in this game as well, and he walked in a run, which was nice.
Yeah, Jeff looks good. 5 for 10, 2 home runs, a double lifetime on his birthday. Pete Alonso hit another home run as
well. Which is great to see because Pete, I don't want to say had like been struggling a little bit, but it had been like a little like hot and cold. The power is definitely still there though. He's shown it this past series as well. That's really what we want from Pete too. We want him to be hitting these home runs, and he is.
It was also a good like punch when we needed it in this game.
It kind of
like get the space that we wanted.
Because it was 1-0 at the time. He made it 3-0. And I will say like the crowd at Citi Field like was a little quiet. I feel like maybe like a little on edge. Really cold too, but like a little bit on edge, like a little hesitant. I feel like just like, I'm gonna watch the game here. I'm gonna not overreact. That one felt like there was like a little bit of a sigh of relief. Same thing when Eduardo Escobar hit a home run later in the game too. That made it 5-1. Just felt like everyone was like, okay, we can breathe a little bit. Like we got some room now.
Yeah, and Pete threw 10 games for the Mets this year, has 11 RBIs, so on pace for about 180.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, that'd be a great rate.
It's a good spot to be. If he has more RBIs than he had last year, I'd say it's a good season.
I'd say the Mets had a pretty good year if he finishes with more RBIs than that, yeah.
A couple nice stats here from John, too. He's 25 home runs against the Marlins in 71 games.
That's a lot.
That's insane, and that's his most home runs versus any team.
It's like a 50 home run pace if you played a full year.
He got 60 right here.
Close
there
to
it is. 60, yeah. I didn't even see that in there. John sneaking in. He likes to write in red.
Yeah, right. John likes to write. I like when John writes things in red because one, give him credit, and 2, they stick out.
That's true.
A lot of times it's just us writing stuff.
Yeah.
These are stats.
That is true.
Yeah. And then we talked about, mentioned it before, Jazz did hit the home run off of Senga in the 6th when things got a little bit dicey. It did feel like he, again, just kind of, I don't know, it's still just a lot going on right now.
And Jazz is also good.
I think
Jazz is also a good hitter.
All Japanese stadiums, they're mostly indoors, correct?
There are a lot more, I think, indoor stadiums than there are like here that he would be playing in consistently, like a bunch of them. He came from what team? Fukuoka, the SoftBank Hawks. I believe they play on an indoor stadium.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
That alone right there, he's got
cold.
A lot more.
One of the coldest games ever pitched in.
Yeah, I mean Japan gets kind of cold.
Yeah, but if indoors, whatever. Talk about Jazz. I mean, there's something else about Jazz here. We were talking about this during the game.
I mean, I would let you take it. I thought,
the tweet or the jinx?
Well, the jinx.
Yeah, all we did was talk crap about Jazz's center field defense. He made a couple of really nice plays this series. They weren't like nice plays where I was like, wow, that was a good center fielder play. It was the Jake Mangum special where you just don't get to a ball quickly enough and then you dive and people are like, oh my God, what a play.
Yeah, like probably like, a very good defensive center fielder makes that play look a little bit easier. He did make like one play where he did lay out like completely, like got airborne. It was a pretty sick catch early on in the game. But, I mean, we definitely did not get the as bad center field Jazz Chisholm as we saw in Miami, which would have been nice. But, I mean, he's got like a few more games under his belt now.
And it was a funny tweet that came out by Jazz. That wasn't yesterday. That was like this week when he said that his girlfriend told him he can't tweet until they play 40 games.
That he can't tweet.
He can't tweet about the game, like the baseball. Basically.
Well, I mean, and then he did this weekend. Like after game 1, I think people were complaining because he was hitting 4th and he showed bunt.
Or maybe that was it. Maybe it did happen this weekend.
Yeah, showed bunt a couple times, and then someone was like giving him crap about it, and he was like, "Have you seen me? Like, I'm not a 4-hitter, dude." And then he hadn't hit 4th, looked a lot more comfortable, like I said Saturday, and Sunday we saw it again. He hit another home run.
I'm just really impressed that Jazz's girlfriend knows about like stabilization points and baseball statistics. So she realized like after 40 games, he'll probably have about 80 balls in play at that point. So his power metrics will have stabilized.
She's a keeper.
Yeah, she is. She knows what she's doing.
7th inning got a little bit shaky. Drew Smith just kind of didn't have it again. It was like shockingly cold. I can't stress this enough. My hands were freezing. It was way colder than it was on the home opener. Maybe this played a little bit into it. I mean, they've been indoors and in Florida basically for the last 2 months here. So could have played into it, but luckily John Curtis came in, shut the door. Dude's a lifesaver. We told you to watch out for John Curtis. He's coming in some big moments and made some big pitches.
And another last big moment from this game was Eduardo Escobar hitting a home run. He got really close to hitting a home run, a little wall scraper. It was like in the 5th.
Yeah.
And there was visible frustration, which kind of makes sense because he has been a little on the schneid a little bit this so far start the year. He sees what's going on in the media. He hears people like saying things to him. Like it's very obvious, but it was really good to see him hit that home run because he needed that. And at this moment in time, the team did need that.
Yes,
we needed some cushion there.
Helped for both ways, like for Eduardo Escobar's mental state and for the Mets fans' mental state and the team's well-being. Like he made it a little bit further, the score in between the two teams. And then we got David Robinson in the 9th inning, who was just awesome.
Looks really good.
Cash money. It's really nice that he comes into the game and I really don't feel any sort of nervousness whatsoever.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of cool. Another thing, first home series, you kind of learn about a lot of the new players in this team, like their music taste, because we got new walk-up songs for everybody. Some guys have the same walk-up from last year. Some guys have some new ones. Dave Robinson, Sweet Home Alabama, remix walk-up. That's from John. Shout out Razor. Who else? Some of the cool ones. Pete's walking up the Shook ones this year.
Yeah.
Alavino kept the same Kid Cudi from last year, which was
Nimmo
cool.
and McNeil have not changed. I don't know if they know any other songs, but I don't think they're changing anytime soon.
Those guys know 5 songs each.
Thank God we don't have to hear like some like really, really awful like country rock music again. Like
there's some bad. I mean, I'm not going to name names.
No more Imagine Dragons.
There's some bad country music.
I'll say this: Stephen Nagosic did a great job in relief today in Game 3, but the song that he came out to was just awful. As someone who I despise country music, I don't know what's worse than hate.
I hate it.
It is like ear piercing. I absolutely think it's the worst.
It's just bad.
What he came out to was like, how do you even get ready to pitch to that? I mean, he did a great job, so it worked, but. My God, I don't think if you gave me like 1,000 songs that anything even close would come like that.
I wasn't here Saturday. What was Senga's walkout song?
Ooh, I don't know.
Do you remember?
My parents kind of walked in a little bit later.
Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, John's got it.
Tyler McGill came out to Big Papa on Friday.
I like that.
Which for like 6'7" and Burley, like that's a good
Big
one.
Drip, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that I was like, ooh, Tyler McGill, Big Papa, like that's a little. It's a little confidence.
Francisco, we're going to start transition here to Sunday's game. Whatever song he had was a banger. I was really feeling myself, and that was on.
It was like reggaeton, Latin music. Not sure. I'm sure we'll get it from Razor at some point.
Counting Stars by One Republic.
Really?
That's so funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, I want to know the genesis of that.
Yeah,
I saw that. I was
the reasoning.
Like, how? Why?
Also, Carrasco does watch it. He does Jesse's Girl, right? Or
no, Summer 69. He used that last year, too.
Yeah, no, that's why. But it's like every time I hear it, I'm like, that's crazy.
Might as well talk about Game 3 then.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and talk about that one. Game 3 obviously was the loss of the series. Just started off bad from the start. Carrasco was just maybe not as sharp in the first inning. A couple guys got on early, some stolen bases there. They were testing Francisco Álvarez.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about that. Was like a clear show of gamesmanship by Jazz Chisholm against a rookie catcher making his first start of the season, a guy who didn't break camp with the team, a guy who people have outside the organization, like called different like defensive things into question, and he got a leadoff single, and he stole second, third, and 2 pitches
instantly.
Yes, no hesitation whatsoever.
And I'm not necessarily sure who he stole it on. Like again, like at the stadium, it's a little bit harder to tell. I think sometimes because you're watching like so many different things.
I think it was pure gamesmanship.
Yeah, no, I think it was like
I'm gonna challenge you.
Let's see what the rookies got. Like, let's see what the young kids got. Jazz is also like a very good base stealer and very fast. So like it's kind of like a perfect marriage there of testing the guy. Alvarez made some good throws today. He didn't throw anybody out. There's some good throws like sprinkled in there. The first one was a little bit rough, but like as you get into the game, you get in the flow more. He looked better as it went on.
Yeah, ball was there. It was all bang bang plays, and we know how much easier and how much increased stolen base rates are so far this season.
Those big bases, dude.
But yeah, those huge bases. But that was like a very obvious like I'm gonna look in your eyes. I'm gonna tell you you're not gonna get me out right now.
I will say though, like Alvarez like looked pretty comfortable behind the plate today.
Yeah,
like, there wasn't anything that like stood out to me like for the concerns that people might have about his defensive, ability behind the plate. It looked pretty good. Like there was a couple pitches that like you could work on, but that's like him still also getting comfortable with pitchers that he's learning as well. Like there's going to be a learning curve for any catcher when they get to the major league level, especially a guy like Francisco Álvarez who's 21 years old. Like he's going to improve.
Also interesting, the bottom of this first inning, and now it kind of stinks after the fact because Starling Marte hit a double, stole third, wound up sliding into Gene Segura's knee, left the game with a strained neck. But I can't even recall the last time 2 people stole third in the first inning of one game.
It's just we've seen like I feel like when we came up as baseball fans, like when we were younger, like there was a lot of stolen bases, and obviously like during the glory days for us when we were Mets fans, like Jose Reyes was stealing a ton of bags. Like they were very athletic on the bases. And then there was just kind of like this like last 10 years or so where nobody steals bases anymore. It was like the risk reward's not worth it. Now with the new bases, now with the new pickoff rules and the pitch clock, I think that's really more what it has to do with it. We're seeing people run a lot more. It does make the game a lot more entertaining. Like stolen bases are electric.
Stolen bases are very fun. And kind of like a lot of these stolen bases seems like guys are stealing them pretty handily. So I don't know. Seems like they probably could have been stealing them the last couple of years.
Probably, yeah.
Like maybe.
I think it really does come down to the pitch clock and the pickoff rule because the pitchers seem very focused on making sure they adhere to the pitch clock rules, and you can only pick off twice in one at bat. So you got to be, pick and choose your battles there.
Yeah, for sure. And then later in that first inning, Brian De La Cruz just hit a spinner. Really far,
crushed
really hard.
It.
Yeah.
I mean, he was due to do something against us.
You can't play against the Mets that often and not destroy us.
Will Brian De La Cruz be on the Marlins in September?
That's a good question. Maybe not.
I don't know. It's
like him or Jesus Sanchez. One of them won't be probably.
They should keep him. He's got control for like the next 4 years. But if someone comes along with a good offer, you probably take it.
Also, that moment, that at bat you talked about from Saturday when his helmet flew off, I noticed Brian De La Cruz is losing his hair a little bit.
I mean, he's completely bald. I had no clue he was bald.
That really changed like the scope of how I view him as a player.
Does it make
in a weird way?
Better or worse?
Better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
Who else is bald? Barry Bonds.
Exactly. Barry Bonds was also bald.
So was Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan was also bald.
Yeah.
LeBron James is bald, but won't let it go.
That's a problem.
That is a problem. I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
I'm a big LeBron guy.
Yeah, if you're okay with your appearance just completely falling apart, then you're going to be a better athlete, more focused.
There you go. Brian De La Cruz hitting the home run. We did make it close. We tried to make it close at least. Like, how many times was there a guy on third base in the first 5 innings?
This game was frustrating. If you just look at the box score, like, all right, the Mets lost. That happens. You're not going to get a sweep, whatever. But from innings 1 through 5, we were challenging basically every single inning. Between innings 1, 2, 3, and 4, 3 times we got a man to third base with less than 2 outs. And the only time we got a guy home was a Francisco RBI, 2 out, 2 strike. RBI single. Good piece of hitting.
This is a PSA to Mets fans out there. There's a nickname going around for Francisco Álvarez, Frank the Tank. Please, nobody, please, God, no. Don't give the young, phenom, superstar potential guy a bad nickname like Frank the Tank right now. Like, it just let him just be Francisco Álvarez. Let him be a dog. Let him be a beast. We can come up with a cooler nickname.
He already has one.
What is? Oh, El Troll. Yeah. That's the one we should be using. We should be using El Troll. The nickname.
His nickname.
Yeah, his nickname. The one that he likes, that he gave himself. Let's not make a new one for him. And you could probably read between the lines too and figure out why. But
yeah,
I mean, let's get a clue here.
It did. Yeah, it got frustrating going through these innings of continuously getting guys to third base, not getting them in. That's like a bona fide way to feel yourself falling out of a game. And then in the 5th inning, Garrett Cooper, newly pinned certified Met killer, comes up and hits another spinner off Carrasco. I don't even know a million miles an hour.
I don't even know if it's new. I think he's just
always been.
He's always been.
These last 7 games have really kind of got hammered home.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's always been a good hitter. It's just like health for him, and the Marlins also like weirdly just didn't play him a lot. They're like, hey, Jesus Aguilar, head back out there for another one, guy.
Veteran.
Yeah, veteran presence. Lewin Diaz, let's give you another chance. Garrett Cooper's a good ball player, and he absolutely killed the Mets in this game today.
Garrett Cooper, I feel like, is older than we think, too.
He's like 32.
32 years old.
No, he's sneaky old, which is also like a little bit weird. But yeah, he crushed it, 110 off the bat.
He will be traded.
Yes. Yeah, he won't be on here next time we play them. No way he's on this team.
Any prediction?
Back to the Yankees.
Ooh.
That's not a bad one. Mets.
Sure.
You can't beat them, join them. Bring them in.
Take them away. It's a addition by subtraction.
Give us Garrett Cooper and Brian De La Cruz. I'm tired of facing these guys. I'm really done with them.
And we did have a really good chance in the bottom of the 6th inning to come back. 2-out rally. Pete and Canna getting some knocks. Tanner Scott came into the game, walked Jeff McNeil on 4 pitches.
Frustrating sequence here.
That's Tanner Scott. And then Eduardo Escobar saw
a ball,
and then swung at the next pitch, got jammed, ground ball to third base.
Yeah.
Put the end to an inning. Would have wished maybe for a little more patience at the plate, but listen, who are we to judge what's going on also at the plate as well?
Perfect world, you hope to take a strike there. I don't know. That could be different, but there's also, if there wasn't bases loaded, that's a base hit.
Yeah.
Oh, but 100%. Also, maybe he's playing in front of the bag because like Gene Segura was playing back because he knew he had that option. But even then, he beat, I think it was Canna on second, beat into the base by a moment.
Slightly. And like if you could run through third base, I think Canna might have beat him. Yeah. But because like you can't run past the base, he could just tag you out. Maybe interesting. Is that something you should try to do then in that situation? Because if you run past the base,
that run would have counted.
That run would have counted if you got tagged. I don't know. That's interesting. That's like
a weird piece of baseball philosophy.
You know who would know?
Crunch the numbers.
Buck Showalter would know if that's the right move or not. And if they didn't do it, that means it's probably not the right move. As we see with our Buck Cups. If you're at the stadium, you got to get a Buck Cup.
You got to get a Buck Cup. I think these are the only commemorative cups that we sell, right?
That's the only one I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Buck Showalter's face on a cup. I don't know any other team that puts
this is a Buck Showalter action shot too, right here.
He's walking out to the mound, making the pitching.
No,
change.
he's walking out going to argue with an umpire. Tell him he knows the rules better.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's giving a stern talking to the umpire.
Yeah, but that was a frustrating moment in this game where you could have even a base hit there cuts the lead to 2 because it was 6-2 at the time.
Yeah.
You really felt like there were so many opportunities to get back in. We know the shortcomings of this Marlins bullpen, but the game kind of died in that moment.
Yeah, no, I mean that one stunk, and that was pretty much it for the game. I mean,
maybe just mention Carlos Carrasco for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Gave up a big home run to De La Cruz on a hanging slider. Another one to Garrett Cooper, another hanging slider. Only got 3 total whiffs. 2 were on his 91-mile-an-hour fastball. I'm hoping there's a weather issue because I don't know. It's a little sketchy right now.
I feel like we talked about this last year too about Carlos Carrasco. That remember like in the colder at the beginning of the month season, like the velo was down a little bit more earlier in the year, and as the season went on, he built up and got more velo as it went on as the weather got warmer. Very well could be a weather thing.
Yeah, but his fastest fastball today was like 92.
Got hit hard.
Yeah, he got
hit hard. Something to keep an eye out for here moving forward.
Yeah, Jazz got tossed. We couldn't finish the sweep. That's
John, were those pitches to Jazz strikes? Because we were watching in the stadium, so we have no clue.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, definitely.
What did the K-Zone think?
The one he got rung up on and got ejected on looked a little low.
Looked a little low and maybe like a hair outside.
Well, it was also the 3rd time he had done it. I think Jeff Nelson at that point was kind of done with Jazz's BS. By the way, do you guys know that Jeff Nelson, former Yankee reliever, was in the Marlins booth? Yeah. I think he does radio for them.
Really?
I don't know who I saw take a picture with him today and post it. Like I was weirdly scrolling through Twitter and I was like, oh, someone took a picture with Jeff Nelson. I remember that guy.
You think Jeff Nelson and Jeff Nelson get together for dinner when they're in town together?
Just like
at
the New York Rangers and the Texas Rangers, yeah.
It's Giants and Giants.
Giants and Giants, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
I mean, if there was another James Shiano, I'd get a beer.
There is another James
my dad.
Shiano. It's your dad.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We hang out all the time.
You can get gluten-free beer.
A proverbial beer. I'm just the concept of a drink.
Of course,
not actual beer.
And that was, I mean, that's it. Yeah, sweeps are hard.
Sweeps are really hard.
Really didn't sweep a lot last year. Like that was our big thing. It was like 2 of 3.
Sweep would have been nice, but again, at the end of this, it's cool that we got to play 7 games against the Marlins. You're not going to see him till September 18th,
where they should probably be a lot worse.
Yeah, and you went 5-2.
Yeah, went 5-2. That's what you got to do against the bad teams, especially like in a year where you play them a lot less. 5-2 is a great way to start against the Marlins because we know the Phillies can never beat them, and they can't even beat the Reds this weekend. So love to see that they're on their downfall right now. All right, let's go ahead and preview. Oh no, before we preview the Padres series, forgot because John wasn't around for the last episode when we did the estimate. And John, we needed you badly. We got the same number. We didn't know what to do, and we just said
we just froze.
Too bad, no estimate for this series. So
still 1-0 me.
I'm interested to see what you got cooking up for us against the Padres here.
Yeah, I apologize for that. Passover Seder conflicts. I tried to finagle the time of the Seder, but I was shot down.
Hey, it's okay. You don't got to apologize.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens. But okay, estimate for this upcoming series. So a little peek behind the curtain for the listeners. You guys agree a lot, and that's cool. But James and I, we had to go back and forth. We have a group text, and it's not always agreeing, and that's good. Debate is good. Conflicting viewpoints is good. This past offseason, the Padres signed Xander Bogaerts. I love the move by San Diego. James, not as high on the move as I was.
I thought conceptually the move was okay for the short term, but I think that Xander Bogaerts is the guy whose skill set might not age super well.
James likes the lowers. That's what it is.
The what?
You like lower. Oh, you're always lower.
Lower.
Unders.
Oh, with lowers. What's a lower? Yeah. Like, are you talking about levers?
No. I meant to say under. I said lower.
Yeah.
You're an under man.
Well, I think life's too short to take any unders, but regardless of that, so I was thinking, what's this going to be? And I was looking at the Padres roster. I didn't have to go too far. Xander Bogaerts right there, alphabetical order.
Pretty good year.
Makes sense.
So you guys have your whiteboards now.
Yes.
We've got markers. We've got the whole thing. I want you guys to tell me, how many total bases will Xander Bogaerts, the really, really good, what does he have, 7 extra base hits now? Off to a great start with the Padres.
Something like that, yeah.
I love it. I love being right and telling James I was
right.
right.
Usually 10-year contracts are decided within 7 games. John's totally right on this one.
That's fine. I'm just saying he's off to a great start.
6 extra base hits.
6
nice
extra
try.
base hits. Okay. How many total bases will Xander Bogaerts have in this 3-game series at Citi Field?
For those of you keeping track at home, walks do not count towards total bases.
Yeah.
Nor do hit by pitches.
Got to put the ball to the bat.
Interesting.
3 games, right?
Yes, 3 games.
3-game series, Scherzer, Peterson, and
McGill.
Okay. Man, Xander Bogaerts is a good ball player, but we got some good pitching here. I am going to go with this number. I like that. I got my number written down. How do you look, James?
He's thinking. He's deep in
really
thought.
giving this one. In between 3 numbers. Why don't you split the difference?
Yeah, you're right.
Split the difference. Don't pick the same number as me. We're going to...
The marker working?
No, it's pretty light, but I'm just gonna really shade
All right, yeah. Shade it in there, and then we'll show to the camera. We now have whiteboards, courtesy of
It worked really well before. I did my stupid S design in the corner. Now it's dead.
Johnny Stats. All right, ready?
Yep.
Go. I got 5.
I got 7.
Oh, that's great. Nice. Love that.
Perfect.
Not the
All
same
right.
number.
So we're over under 6.
We got the giraffe in this corner. There we go. All right. 6, we are screwed. We don't know what to do if there's 6.
6 is another even.
6 is another.
Like the Alexis Diaz situation,
Another wash.
where he didn't pitch.
We held that one.
We like to make this thing as difficult as possible.
Yeah.
By the way, Mark, how was the tuxedo experience? I didn't even see you on opening day, really.
I saw you quickly, like in passing.
Yeah.
Everyone around here was very busy, so I was not trying to get in anybody's way. But yeah, I mean, it was great. It was cool. Like it was not a punishment by any means. I got great pictures.
No, it was fun.
Looked killer in it. I mean, it was it was a good day. It was a good day.
I'm glad it worked out.
And the Mets won. That's even better.
Yeah, you texted saying you had you couldn't figure it out, and I was like, oh man.
I almost botched it because I did not go and get my tuxedo shirt, the undershirt pressed or dry cleaned, so it was very wrinkly. So I threw it in the washer with what I was told is a damp towel. Put it in with the damp towel, let it steam it in there, and then I steamed it myself and then ironed it myself as well, and it came out. No one would have known.
No one would.
So that's a good job by me.
There you go.
Great job. Players make plays.
Players make plays. Well, let's see if I ever have to return this tuxedo. That is going to be the new problem this week that James doesn't have to deal with.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Padres series now. Let's go ahead and talk about this one. Pitching previews. James, what are our matchups?
Matchups are going to be Max Scherzer versus Yu Darvish Monday night, and then David Peterson versus Ryan Weathers Tuesday night.
Okay.
And then the Padres haven't officially named a starter for Wednesday, but the way their rotation lines up, that looks like it's going to be Tylor Megill versus Blake Snell Wednesday matinee, 1 o'clock.
No comments on how Blake Snell has been pitching. I have no comments. Just take that for what it is.
Nothing.
I have not a singular comment about how he's pitched so far this year. We'll say we saw that tickets are pretty cheap right now. You should be coming out to the game. The weather's look pretty good this week.
As long as you can, yeah.
As long as you can, make it out here.
Still pass over. Kids are in school, but
come see the new scoreboard.
Yeah,
I think some people might be on spring break.
Maybe
a little late spring break. I don't know.
I don't know what the children do these days.
But you should come out to a game, especially maybe tomorrow night with Scherzer and Darvish. That's the big pitching matchup right there.
It's one of the best pitching matchups you're gonna be able to see in a baseball game all year.
And we also, I mean, you could get your Buck Cup. You could get your Buck Cup if you ever needed a reason to come. The Buck Showalter Cup. You need this in your house.
You need this in your house. I think
a lot of fluid in here.
It's gonna be definitely weird having the Padres back in here so soon after last year's playoff series. I think that's very crazy. That
Can I say this? I want to absolutely destroy them.
Well, I think after what's gone on the last year and a half, this is becoming a budding rivalry.
Yeah,
I think there's no way not to say. I think I truly don't think these teams like each other. Even going all the way back to Chris Paddock and Pete Alonso.
Padres fans are getting a little too big for their bridges. A little bit too loud for a team that hasn't done anything either.
Well, the thing about the Padres is that the Padres are like that guy you see at the gym, and he's got the popcorn muscles.
I don't know what that means.
He's completely chested and armed out.
Ooh, okay.
And then you keep looking at his body, and you look down, and you're like, oh my god, this guy has chicken legs.
Yeah,
it's like a John Barron.
Oh, that's a personal shot at John right now. Wow.
And I knew you were going to go there too.
Yeah, of course.
That's one of your lines.
Somewhere. But you're like, wow, Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Sandra Bogarts, and you're like, oh, Austin Nola, Rougned Odor.
Yeah,
what's happening here?
James.
Ty France, man. I wish they probably wish they had that one back.
Yes,
because
Andres Munoz would also still be on that team too.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
That would be huge for them. There's definitely some actual holes though in this team, like you said.
Yeah, it's just the popcorn muscles.
To be fair, those holes were also what kind of killed us in the playoffs a little bit, like Trent
sure.
Grisham and Ha-Sung Kim and Austin Nola. Definitely don't disrespect any of the players.
I didn't mention Ha-Sung Kim. Ha-Sung Kim, I think,
he's a good ball
player.
I know, but there's going to be Mets fans out there, and understandably so, who aren't hip to Ha-Sung Kim.
Yeah, Ha-Sung Kim is one of the lowest chase rates in all of baseball so far this year.
Going to make a lot of good plays in the infield too.
And just Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado are 3 of the 20 best hitters in the entire league.
Glad we get to miss Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That guy, when that lineup is really fully going.
I think right before the All-Star break, we head out to San Diego.
Okay.
So we'll see them then.
Just maybe make a San Diego trip for the boys.
I got a bachelor party that weekend.
All right. Well, I'll go by myself then.
Yeah,
maybe.
you can go.
Yeah, I can go hang out in San Diego. I don't need you.
Then we'll go meet in Seattle.
Yeah, then we'll go meet in Seattle for the All-Star game. Peterson Weathers, 2 young left-handed pitchers going up against each other. Interesting.
I guess, I don't know. Ryan Weathers' pitcher doesn't. I mean, he's just he has good results sometimes, but it's just gets there in a weird way.
Son of former Met David Weathers.
Nice.
David Weathers was
Interesting.
what, like 04 Mets, I think?
Yeah.
0304.
Yeah.
Nickname
like-
Stormy.
I feel like he got some
Stormy
big outs in
Weathers.
a game in Cincinnati once. I don't know why I remember that.
I want to call attention to a player in the Padres bullpen. Someone who's been a favorite of mine for years. First, because of how much I liked him as a player, and just now, secondly, because of how much he's persevered. Brent Honeywell
Oh, yeah, it's a
has
cool story.
had a litany of injuries over the last 5 years. He was a former, I believe, first round pick. Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, fourth round pick.
Oh,
Fourth
wow.
round pick in the 2014 draft. He was drafted the year we graduated high school. To
Sheesh.
think about how long this has been for Brent Honeywell.
John probably
20
graduated college by then.
Yeah, no, John, yeah.
Right around that
was
time,
why.
yeah.
That was when John started his AARP membership. But Brent Honeywell has been just doing it forever. Started out with the Rays for a long time. He always had a crazy, he might have been a forkball, his big pitch.
No, he had screwball.
Screwball, that was a
Screwball.
screwball. Fastball out of life, just arm injury after arm injury with the Rays. He's bounced around now. He finally seems to have found a home in this Padres bullpen. He has struck out.
Padres are using him too.
Yeah, he struck out seven batters in 5 and 2/3 innings to start the season. Only allowed 2 walks, and he looks pretty okay.
Yeah, looks pretty okay.
He does look pretty
No,
okay.
I know.
For a
It's
guy
just-
whose arm almost fell off, like he looks pretty okay.
I was waiting for you to say he looks pretty good. I wasn't ready for the.
It's not like
okay.
great. It looks pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean the Padres are a very good team. This is one of the contenders in all of baseball. Just would really like to beat them. It would at least feel great.
I hate them.
Yeah,
I hate them.
Yeah,
Actually, I very much hate them.
I hate the city of Philadelphia. We know that. I hate the Phillies. I love the city of San Diego.
Nothing
but
better.
now I hate the Padres.
I really hate
I
the
have
Padres.
to. They gave
Where
me no
are they on
choice.
your list of hated teams?
Not towards the top.
Oh, I think
Towards the top for me.
I think they're my most hated team. That's not second most hated team. That's not in our division or the Yankees.
I know it's the most hated team.
Who?
St. Louis Cardinals.
100%.
100%.
Not even close.
100%.
No,
Got it.
probably never change.
An organization I respect, though.
Yeah, I respect them so much more than the Padres. That's the other problem.
At least they've won.
Yeah, the Padres just have a credit card with a big limit.
They just got their first no-hitter like last year or whatever.
Yeah, 2 years ago. I think
Yeah.
Musgrove 2 years ago, and that who cares? But the Cardinals just develop players at a clip alarmingly. They have like 12 good major league bats on their roster. The Padres don't develop anybody ever. They just buy players and hope it works.
This is now what, like our third or fourth Padres episode. I think every single one we just end up talking trash on the Padres.
Good.
Like for the last like
Screw
5
'em.
minutes. I'm glad we're doing it again.
Yeah.
We're gonna come out and beat them this series.
Yeah, they're a beach community. They can't fight back.
they're not tough like the New Yorkers in the city.
No, put them on the subway. They'll crater.
Of course, like we said, that series is coming up. We're going to wrap up this episode here by sending it over to our interview with Darren Meenen from the 7 line. He's talking about his transition from fan to now partner with the Mets. Players wanting merch from him, which is got to be absolutely crazy. And he had Steve Cohen sit with him down in Miami. So let's go ahead and go to that Darren interview. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. We are doing this not technically live yet, but we are at the 7 line tailgate home opener here with founder, owner. What's your official title? Darren Meenen. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Too bad it rained yesterday, right?
Yeah, no, it was a tough one to miss.
Yeah.
Great day here out on Friday at Citi Field.
It's April baseball. It's meant to be played in the clouds and the wind. This
Yeah,
is what we're here for. Last year, beautiful the home opener. Will it get us?
Not much. So maybe this is the home opener we need. This does feel more like home opener weather.
Yeah,
It's
right?
back-to-back Friday opening days.
Yes,
Last year
that
was
is
opening
true.
day on Friday as well.
Yeah.
But that was for the lockout. That's what pushed that one. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
No, we're happy to have you. We're at the tailgate, having a lot of fun. Tell us, like, how many years have you been doing like the opening day tailgates and coming opening day with the 7 line?
Well, the 7 line as a brand started at the end of 2009. So we were tailgating, but it wasn't in this lot, and it wasn't really established yet. So once the group started in 2012, that really kind of like started it as being also like, hey, let's get together and tailgate as well. So a long time.
Yeah.
So 2012 to now, yeah, this is my official 15th season doing the 7 line.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible to
Long
think
time.
about. Yeah.
You guys were like in high school.
No, younger. we were
12
children.
years old.
We were middle
Oh my
school.
God. Yeah, you guys were young pups, and I was out
Yeah.
here doing my thing, you know?
Were you always a big opening day guy even before the 7 line?
Yeah, you know what? Like on my block when I grew up, some kids actually were always able to take off from school to go to opening day, and I was never able to do that. And they weren't even like I think they were pretty big Mets fans, obviously, if you're taking your kids out of school for opening day, but
Yeah.
I was never allowed to do that. So once I was out of school, I haven't missed an opening day since. So I'm excited about it. I love being here.
No, it's awesome. How many people do you have like coming out to the outing today, like for the seats in center field?
Well, we have 600, I think it's like 620 members or so,
Okay.
but the sectional's 859. So like the back sections go on Mets.com/the 7 line Army. So anyone that wants to join us that isn't an official member can then come on game by game basis. So
And
almost
I've sat-
900.
I've sat with you guys too. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Ton
Oh, you
of
should
fun.
see the title on YouTube. We said what was the title?
I think I said it was like the craziest fans in baseball or something like that. The video did extremely well too, and weirdly enough, James also was at that game, but we
Yeah.
weren't really friendly then. That was the big Luis Guillorme home run
Oh,
game.
yeah.
That one's like ingrained in my
Well,
brain.
we have a couple big moments of you sitting with us. So, like, there was
Yeah.
that one. And obviously, if you
Oh,
put
of
a
course.
video saying, like, the craziest, people are going to click on that on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
You're a smart YouTube guy. That's
what we know.
But also, when he had to name his firstborn,
Yeah.
Of course.
what was it again?
Patrick.
Patrick
Mazika.
Patrick Mazika,
Yeah,
as you saw.
Patrick Luino.
that you guys saw online as well. So we're sitting there, and Mark goes, if Mazika hits a home run here, I'll have to name my firstborn Patrick.
Yeah.
And then next pitch.
Off Andres Munoz. I was
Yeah.
like, if he does it here, that's my child's name.
For the people that don't remember, that was the May series against the Mariners last year. Yeah.
But the video I put up after, like, the next day of you sitting there, like,
With the curb music.
Yeah.
That was one of the best memes that went up on Twitter, like the entire Mets season. That was
Yeah.
lights out legendary. That was
Yeah,
incredible
yeah.
stuff. Oh
Excellent.
my God. Frick. God, now. I had a question. I just got too much fun
it's-
thinking
I got
about
one
the
for
content.
you.
Yeah.
So we've now been with the Mets for like almost a year.
Yep.
And you were doing your own thing like independently, and now you've partnered up with the Mets. You've been
well,
able
the
to
Mets,
sell.
the Mets also stole you from us.
Yeah, it's
from the
true.
Sunrise.
They did steal us
if
from
you
you.
remember, you guys
Yes,
were doing
of
your
course.
thing, and then
First podcast partner
the
right here.
Sunline was like, "Oh, let's bring these guys on," and then a week later, you're like, "Sorry." I'm like,
I think it was like a day later because I was looking back through memories. It was literally today that we had announced it with Darren because it was the day before the season last year. And last year it was 2 days ago. Today was the day the Mets actually reached out to us, the 6th. We partnered with Darren officially the 5th. Or unless today's the 7th.
I got an eye for talent. You know?
You know what's going on. But
Today's the 7th, yeah.
back to what I was asking, like doing your stuff independently and then getting reached out to by the team and being able to partner up with them. How's that, feel?
Well, it's nuts too because that opening day end of 2009, I started making the shirts. So 2010 was our official first like tailgate with friends, which I could see from here where I used to park my pickup truck. So like the first ever shirts were sold out of my backpack right
Nice.
there.
Dang.
And now it's like, you see what it turned into. So it's crazy too because like I feel like when I talk like that, some fans might be like, "Oh, this guy, he's all about himself or he's sold out or whatever." Now it's like I feel like the tides are turning a little bit when people be like, "Oh, he works hard."
100%,
Maybe it's
yeah.
something that was built from like the parking lot to here. So I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, it's a crazy feeling to have the official logos on things. Like
Yeah.
our logos here, Mets are on the sleeve. So it's crazy. If you told me this in 2009, where we'd be now, even though it is a long time from then to now, it's always a pinch me moment.
Yeah, did you ever think that it was like when you first started, were you like, I want to work with the Mets, or were you just like, this is like fun?
I didn't even think it was even possible. Like in the beginning,
Yeah.
it was like, hey, how can I make some shirts and sell them and go to more Mets games? And that was the entire basis of not ever having like a real job. It was it's hard work, but it's not like I didn't work for anyone. I just built it to what it became.
Yeah.
But the whole idea was going to more Mets games and how can I make money to do something I love.
Yeah.
But seeing it turn into this, no way. But honestly, and I don't want to, this is a Mets thing too, but I don't want to, poop on the team at all. But the reason why I feel like it got the extra boost was because the Mets stunk when the 7 line started.
Yeah.
And if there's a guy willing to buy 1,000 tickets,
Yeah.
like, you don't want this guy to go away,
Yeah.
So it kind of worked. It was convenient timing, and it's
That's funny to think about.
and a lot of there's a lot of people that have been in the ballpark, Mets staff and upper management that's have helped progress this into what it became.
Yeah.
It's still 100% owned by me, which is great.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And not a lot of companies can say that they took the next step without having to give up a portion of their business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's for the time being. I don't know when I'm going to retire, but it's a tough job to retire from.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a never retired job.
No,
Just
I'm
keep coming
hanging
to Mets
out
games
in
and
a
enjoying
parking
yourself.
lot on a Friday.
Yeah.
enjoying a cocktail and hanging out with my friends. And
Yeah, what's you've been selling like merch has been the thing. You guys have sold so many incredible pieces of clothing. The hat you're wearing and this koozie are two of the most famous.
Oh, thank
What
you.
is your favorite piece of merch 7 Line's ever sold?
That's a tough question to answer because there's some products that are more than just like making something cool. It's like there's a meaning behind it. Like we did some work with the Gary Carter Foundation a long time ago. So when Gary passed away, before he passed away, we made a shirt with a few friends. It was a blog called Read the Apple and On the Black. So we all teamed up together to make a shirt that said that we love you, kid. And all the
Nice.
proceeds from that went to the Gary Carter Foundation. And then unfortunately, when Gary passed, we reached back out to the foundation and said, hey, we're going to come up with another t-shirt and donate it all.
Yeah.
So it was an 8, just a solid 8 with a teardrop. You guys may have seen it.
Yeah.
And we raised, I mean, I don't want to be wrong with the number, but I know it was over $10,000 out of that one T-shirt design.
It's incredible.
And Johan wore it every day underneath his jersey when he pitched.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
like
Whoa.
Johan opening day, and I don't know, I can't remember the year. I don't want to misspeak, but whatever year it was, he went for his press conference afterwards, and he was wearing it.
That's awesome.
And I guess through the grapevine, I found out he was always wearing it underneath his jersey. So like things like that stand out more than like, the tweed hat. Like
Yeah.
people here, like, when's that coming back? Like, yeah, it's cool to have something like that people were really, like hoping to buy one day when it comes back. But like something that has more meaning behind it means more to me.
How does
That's
it feel to see like one of the Mets players wearing your?
Yeah, it's nuts. Well, it was crazy when it first started. I became friendly with Justin Turner down at spring training.
Yep.
And then it was before some of the guys got brought up yet. Like, Harvey, I don't think he was called up yet when I first met Turner. But we're at Duffy's, and it's back when they still used to bowl on the Sunday nights when the whole team would be there.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was still doing that calendar where like the girls would try out or whatever. And Turner introduced me to some of the guys. Like, this is Darren. He runs this thing called the 7 line. They're like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, oh, he does that calendar. Like, oh, come hang out. It was cool. But for the players, it's like, to start becoming on like first name basis with a lot of guys is cool. And I think like the way I'm sure you guys like this too. Like, if you don't like fangirl too hard, it's like they're more willing to kind of like be cool with you. Like
100%.
I'm not asking players for photographs or selfies or whatever.
No.
I mean, I want to.
Yeah, of
but like
course.
you gotta play cool. But I think it also became a fact. It's like I'm older than them too, so it's like, oh, this guy's just been around the block, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would text like Turner, or, through the years, like when he left, like other guys, they'd meet me right at the side door of the ballpark, and I would hand them boxes of shirts, and they'd distribute them. And
That's so cool.
sometimes the players would be like, I remember someone, I don't know whose Nimmo or someone in the beginning, like, hey, where'd you get this shirt? And the guy, and I think it was Nimmo, he's like, I was just in my locker. I don't know, like I just put it on, But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a wild ride. I thoroughly enjoy it, as you probably can see, and it's fun.
Do things like that still happen with players, connections, giving merchandise and stuff?
Yeah, if you look on like Edwin Diaz's story last night on Instagram, I mailed him a box of shirts because like we don't technically need players' permission anymore to make player stuff, which is kind of weird. Like I can make an Edwin shirt without asking him.
Yeah.
But back in the day, before the license, like when we did stuff with Dickey, I would ask Dickey, hey, is this cool?
Yeah.
But now, since we have a deal with MLBPA, we kind of just run our ideas through them. But like last night, because clearly that Edwin Diaz T-shirt with the trumpet was designed before he got hurt.
Yeah.
So I hit him up. I'm like, hey, do you like this? He's like, oh, it's awesome, or whatever. So I asked him, what sizes do you want? Where can I mail them? I guess I mailed them here.
Yeah.
So he's here. So I guess he saw them last night and he put it on his story. So it's like, that's
Nice.
cool,
That is really cool. It's also
Yeah.
so funny, like, dating yourself with these Mets players you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
Dickey,
Turner,
yeah.
Dickey, it was right before Harvey came up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, that just shows, like, the longevity you've had with this. It's unbelievable.
Well, one of my most prized possessions, I feel like, is back when Dylan G was still with the team. I was giving the guys boxes of stuff, and I was also really cool, like the wives too. So like if the wives want anything, I'd be like, of course, like.
Yeah.
And everyone's always so like, what do I owe you? I was like,
Nothing.
You don't owe me anything. Like
I owe you.
even just you guys wearing this stuff is cool. It helps obviously business, but like it's such a cool connection. But I was in my seat, and someone from the Mets, I can't remember who it was like, hey, they got a text, where are you sitting? I was like, well, I'm always in the same spot, but like this is my seat, 141, row 1, seat 1, like come on down. And they brought me a team signed ball from, I guess Dylan G went around the clubhouse and said, hey, can you sign this?
Oh, that's cool.
He said,
That's
thanks for the swag, and everybody signed
That's
it.
awesome. That's
So it's
really
like, getting that is like so cool because it's not something you could like, you can't buy that. You can't go to like a card show and get like.
It's 101.
something
That's
like
yours.
Yeah, it's cool. So that's great.
You had Steve Cohen sitting with you in Miami.
Yeah.
How was that? How do you react to all the fans? How did the fans react to him?
It was like the Beatles in like the 65 at Shea Stadium, man. It was nuts. But like, I knew about that for a couple weeks. So like, it was. I got a text from someone at the Mets and said, hey, can we talk for a second? And like, hey, what do you think about Steve coming down to the tailgate? And I was like, I don't know about the tailgate. He's gonna get mobbed, but if he comes to the seats, it might be a little bit more better reaction where people aren't gonna like, like I was saying about fangirling.
Yeah.
But I totally understand why fans love him, so they want to
course.
get as close as they can. But for the first half of the inning, it was like the top of the fourth. It was fine. Like he came and sat, and we just chilled and talked or whatever. Then in between innings, one person opened up the box and being like, "Can I get a selfie?" And then it was like, "Oh!" Like, luckily he had security with him
Send
and
the
stuff.
Secret
so-
Service in.
Yeah, seriously. So at one point he looked to me and he's like, "We're watching the game, right?" And I was like, "I would like to," but so he really hung out for like a full inning, But it was phenomenal,
That's awesome. Darren, We know you're busy today.
Oh,
We know you got-
I would talk all day.
Honestly, I want one more question.
All right,
One more question.
go
Tease
one more
thing.
question.
You think that's the last time Steve Cohen's going to sit with the 7 line?
I mean, I have him on camera saying that he wants to sit with us more often, so we'll see.
Okay.
I reached out to the Mets after, and I'm like, hey, maybe we do something where we always do a road outing for opening day.
Yeah.
On like the road opener, and Steve sits with us for at least one inning. That would be cool.
That is cool.
That's a cool idea.
Beautiful.
Darren, again,
Thanks,
very
guys.
busy.
And before we go,
tell everybody also like where to find all your stuff.
I was gonna say, guys, if you're watching this in real life, I'm 6'2", but they gave me this little chair,
On purpose.
Yeah.
so I'm sitting down, and I'm like, man, this is the first time I'm
right
showing
here.
you guys.
Yeah, all the
But
way.
yeah, anyway, the7line.com. If you want to sit with us, go to Mets.com/the7linearmy. That's for all the home games, road games. The7linearmy.com. There's a whole list of where we're gonna be. All that. Thanks a lot.
All right, let's go enjoy the tailgate and see you guys on the next episode.
See you next time. Let's go Mets.
Great interview with Darren. Great to see him. He's been someone who, like, personally has supported my stuff, like,
Yeah.
ever since I started. And I mean, right before we actually got the call from the Mets, like the day before, we
Yeah.
announced that we partnered up with
him.
Darren and the 7 Line to be like their official podcast.
Yeah.
Mets called us like the next day. We're like, all right,
Yeah.
Darren, sorry to tell you this, but like we're gonna go with the Mets. And he was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, it's incredible. Go for it.
Just also peek behind the curtain. We were hilariously really stressed out about that conversation with him. Like
So
I was really
stressed.
scared to like offend him because he was like really nice to us and was like really trying to bring us along. And then immediately we were like, thanks for announcing this, spending the time, taking thought. We're gone.
We're gone. We're out of here. But he was like, he's the absolute man. If you have a chance to ever go sit with the 7 Line at a game,
Do it.
100%. You should. It's so much fun. Even just go to a tailgate. Can't recommend it more. It's like one of my better YouTube vlogs I've ever done, hanging out with them. You were weirdly at the game too when Luis Guillorme hit that big home run against the
Crazy.
Washington Nationals.
2019.
If I had the Twitter following then, I would have had a third child named Luis.
Yeah. that would have been the first child.
Yeah.
Luis.
It would have been Luis, Patrick, and Albert.
That's a good mix.
Yeah.
That's a good infield right there.
That is. I
Luis,
mean-
Patrick, and Albert's the first baseman, of course.
Of course.
Yeah,
Luis.
Patrick's probably third, and Luis can play middle infield.
Yeah, Patrick could catch.
Yeah, Patrick could catch.
There you go. Anything else?
I think that's all we got. Beat the Padres.
Beat the Padres. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching this episode of the Mets'd podcast. Make sure you're following us everywhere at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe to the New York Mets YouTube channel if you want to watch the video version of this. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. We really do appreciate it. Follow James on Twitter at
James_Shiano.
and me at Giraffe Neck, Marc with a C. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Mets'd podcast. Peace out.
Peace out. See you guys next time.